You know, I've been lucky in that I've never had to go pitch a movie. I've almost never had to, because Beavis and Butt-Head was a hit pretty quickly, and Hollywood is so starved for hits and new material and new people, especially when you have one that's connecting with an audience and it's working. So from the get-go, it was Hollywood calling, let's make a movie. And, you know, so I said, sure, let's make a movie.
When we first saw Beavis and Butt-Head in the early 90s, MTV had been running some game shows, started Real World, and otherwise was music video, genre-based, Yo MTV Raps, 120 minutes. And we experimented with this thing, Liquid Television, which was a hodgepodge of animations, and ultimately Frog Baseball, I think it was like a 2 or 3 minute short, worked its way into Liquid TV. But beyond that, we did not have animation, long-form animation on the channel.
That was cool.
I got, personally, 5 movie offers the first week Beavis and Butt-Head was on the air. It was that viral. And this is not like the time of internet popularity.
If anyone was going to take the chance and turn that into a feature film, it was kind of right for us.
There's a lot of reasons it took a while. It was having to do with corporate mergers and arguments about whether it's live action or...
You know, we saw every studio, and they all pitched us ideas we didn't like, and we just kind of came back from Hollywood and said, we're going to hang on and do it when we're ready. And ultimately, I think in the conversations with Mike and everyone, we felt we had to give them more dimension. After all, you had a show with multiple seasons where they just sat on their couch.
The first draft had a real story, and I think as long as you're invested in the story, that the great characters that they were going to be entertaining to watch the whole time.
If you can imagine all the sights that they would see. And then when we let people know we were doing the movie, you know, people like Bruce Willis, Demi Moore, and others came out of the woodwork and wanted to do voices, and it was the easiest booking we've ever done, even though those people didn't really get paid too much to do it.
It really was the perfect film to start our division with, because it was representative of the whole just attitude of MTV. And starting in the film division could be a signature film while also being pretty adventurous in a way, doing something that hadn't been done before on the live.
Beavis and Butt-Head movie was the first time we put some money into it. And that's really, I mean, animation, it's not so much, you know, do I draw better than this guy, or it's really how much money you put in it, how much, you know, manpower, men and women sitting there drawing, and also it was the first time we actually had an art director. So we actually, for the first time, started thinking about having a color palette from scene to scene and make it look nice. Beavis and Butt-Head, the episodes are, except for the first season, they're all hand-inked and painted and on cell and shot on film. So we had film that we'd never projected in a theater. So we took a couple episodes and projected them, and realized pretty quickly that you can't get away with just, you know, held cells, they call them, one cell that's just sitting there for a background character that's not moving. And, you know, you need to do it on bigger field size, actually bigger paper, because, you know, you can't zoom in on a drawing this big and project it on a huge screen and have it look good. So it does look a little richer, and there's more movement in the background. And I actually love the way that movie looks. Office Space, the movie I did, I haven't watched it since the color timing. This movie I'm doing now, I don't think I'm ever going to watch again after I'm done with it. But it didn't bother me to see it again.
Everything was overlapping, everything was happening at once. So we never had the luxury of having one part finished. Well, I mean, we're still being written pretty much, like until the last few months, because the ending was kind of open for a while, which is so hard to believe because it's the most perfect ending in the world. But it was an evolution. As later on I've worked on features that producers told me it's a process. Yvette, it's a process. You know, I like maybe a short process, but I like to make decisions. TV is about decision making. So, but that was a process in its condensed form. But you could see how magic just happened. Like things seemed loose ends, and then they would come together. It was just some sort of amazing logic or creativity happening.
Mike wanted to take us places we weren't comfortable, take the audience places, but he was always true to his vision, the characters. He always defended Beavis and Butt-Head and their character and how they saw the world.
So I kind of had a little bit of a, like, you know, we don't need big celebrities. What good does it do us? But actually, boy, all of them were really good and so much better than anything I could have done or anyone else we could have gotten. We had, you know, Cloris Leachman, like I say, Robert Stack, Bruce Willis, Demi Moore, Greg Kinnear. They all nailed it perfectly, I thought. It was great.
And none of those actors were ever in the same room. It was all recorded separately. One thing that was different about the recording process of our show is that every actor was recorded individually, and it was all their conversations were pieced together in editing afterwards. Mike flew to London to record Demi Moore, and then when we had to record Bruce Willis, myself, Mike, and a sound guy had to fly to his home in Idaho.
Love them. And it makes me laugh when people say, oh, I don't watch it, I wouldn't watch it. Have they ever seen it? No, but I wouldn't. It is wonderful. It's such a, it allows people to not take themselves so seriously.
Actually, on the show, we have a guy who comes in who's kind of a Robert Stack wannabe. And so I kept thinking, well, that's who I was hearing. I was saying, well, who are we going to get to do the voice? Robert Stack. I forgot that this is, you know, a big-time movie.
A mean old cop, that's right. Elliot Ness on Benzodrine.
This is the coolest thing I have ever...
I remember my manager saying, he said, man, if you come in third or fourth, that's going to be so amazing. If you beat One Fine Day, a movie with George Clooney and Michelle Pfeiffer. And, you know, it was opening weekend for Scream, second weekend of Jerry Maguire, second week, I think, for 101 Dalmatians. There were all these huge movies out there, so I didn't expect, and the tracking wasn't showing that it was going to be anywhere near number one. I think maybe, I don't even know. I think they were afraid to tell me how low they thought it was going to be. Part of the reason for that, I think, is that people who are taking, you know, doing a phone survey, maybe they're embarrassed to admit that they're going to go see the Beavis and Butt-Head movie this weekend. So they say, you know, I'm going to go see One Fine Day.
We were so thrilled that Siskel and Ebert gave it 2 thumbs up, and the Times, all the, you know, the New Yorker, the Times, and who knows what else gave it great reviews because they got it.
We had a lot of fans, critics liked us. It's kind of amazing that we surprised people that you could sustain it for 80 minutes. And it was great to be a part of something that, once again, you know, proved our detractors wrong. People who hated us, there was no winning against us. The support was too strong, ultimately, as far as the fans.
Well, the series had ended when the movie came out, and I think that there was probably no other place for us to go. I think Mike, tired of